G'day viewers, welcome to another super helpful, super cool repair video from the Goat Shed, located in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. Today is July 25th. It's a Thursday. It's 9 degrees Celsius outside, which is 48.2 degrees Fahrenheit. So quite a cool day, but we're expected a high of 23 today, so who knows what lies in store for us. So yesterday, being the Wednesday, we received a bowling queen and a pro football. But today we're going to be talking about bowling queen. Now, we have done videos on pro football and bowling queen before, but I think bowling queen's a much more classic machine to show people, and we probably do a video on the pro football repair, but we're going to start with this one. So bowling queen was produced in July 1964 with 2,650 units made, and it was designed by the incomparable Wayne Nyans and with the artwork by Roy Parker. And the machine immediately made before bowling queen was Gottliebs Bonanza, and after was the Majorettes. So also remember that bowling queen has had released 3 times the playfield style with different themes. So 62 it was racquetball, 64 it was bowling queen, and 69 it was Mibs. So that's a little bit of trivia. Also, the back glass has 3 pinball machines on it. The machine on the left is bowling queen itself. The machine in the middle is Gaucho, and the machine on the right is Flipper Clown. Now, for those of you aficionados who are familiar with Gottliebs' service manual made in the 60s, it's that little A5 one that came out in a booklet form. You will be aware that Gaucho is the machine that they based a lot of the circuitry on in that. Well, you may not have been aware, but that's the fact of life. It was. Now here we are, we have the back box insert out, as we've been doing lately, and we're having a precursory glance as to what we can see wrong with it. Now overall this looks to be in pretty good condition. It's nice. Woodwork looks good. All the mechs aren't too bad. Here we have the what they call the ball rack advance unit. This seems to be working not so badly. We'll just reset that. It's a bit sluggish on the upstroke, but like always we're going to pull it all apart and check it and clean it. Over behind it there we have the ball, the 0 to 9 unit, I should say. Now it's moving a bit sluggishly as well.
It's going backwards a bit.
But let's lift it up and have a little look. We've discovered a couple of things already, and here you can see we have, and I'm just going to bring that in a bit closer for you. Just drop it down just a bit, Graham. There, no, just drop it down a little bit more. That's it. You can see that the coil stop is broken away, but look across here. It's fractured right across.
The core casing.
The core casing is actually broken, and I'd say they normally break here, across here.
We've never seen one like that.
Haven't seen one here, and I venture to say that that coil stop's been broken a long, long time. And if we tilt it back a little bit, we can see, if I just get that in the right spot, we can see that the drive arm stop is busted across the bottom. That's that part
Which
number.
happens a lot anyway.
A256. So that's broken. So there's 3 parts that this machine's going to need. The coil stop, the bracket, and the stop arm. And
I just noticed that this here is nearly worn through too, Kim.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, where it hooks on.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of meat.
Yeah, all right. Well, now, we'll pull all that apart and see if there's ever anything else wrong with it.
We'll check the snowshoes to see how they're going.
Well, we're probably going to put new braid on them. Yeah. And that's the other thing I forgot to mention just a moment ago, Graham.
Yeah, that one's missing the braid.
This one's missing the braid. There's no braid on that, so we're going to put that on there. Now, on these, you'll see a bit of wire going across there. That's actually redundant. That's just to indicate that those two snowshoes should be looped together. So that was something that we learnt fairly recently. So if you're not sure, sometimes you've got like a snowshoe here and then another one right over here. You'll see a bit of maybe wire should go across to it as a ground or something like that. You just follow those wires. So that's a little bit of information for you. Now, we have the relays here.
With the scoring relays?
The scoring relays. There's the N for Nelly relay just there. N, M, Q and G. G, now what's that for? Let's have a quick look. Oh, I can't have a quick look. I haven't got the schematic handy, but I wonder what that is. Oh, well, we'll find that out. And then, of course, we've got the rat trap score reels we're going to go through. And we'll check all the adjustments on them and everything. We haven't sort of done that yet. Now, this guy recently bought this machine, and it came out of a pub, and he works in a pub, and the owner of the pub has agreed to let him put this in on site. So it's going to be able to be played at a pub in New South Wales. I think the name of the place is Goolong. It's just sort of out near Orange, out where it gets very cold.
Oh, it'll be terrible at the moment.
Would be. Let's have a look at the rest of the machine and see what we've got to do. So here's the playfield that we've got to look at. Now, having a look at the apron, it looks in really, really good condition.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. It's nice.
Yeah, that's lovely. There's the wide flipper gap on it. Now the left flipper is pointing down a bit, but we'll have a look underneath in a minute and see what's got to be done there. All these bowling theme machines seem to clean up nicely. So you come down the bowling alley there where the pins are, and there's a little bit of ball swirl, or quite a bit of ball swirl, to be honest. That won't disappear in a hurry, but it should come up nicely. The yellows tend to polish up brightly. What we'll do, we'll paint the wood here. We'll lacquer that.
We'll do the top arch.
The top arch may not need doing. It's got a bit of patina about it there. Let's have a little look. What do you reckon?
We'll take it off and clean it and see how it goes.
Give it a polish or something, yeah.
Well, we've got to get a couple of nails. The lane guides are pretty bad, so we've got to do something about them.
Some lane guides. These plastics here are a bit bent. Sadly, well, we'll probably end up putting them in the oven at, what do they do, about 120 degrees maybe. It's got a cracked plastic here on this one. There, which
actually I think we've got some second-hand plastic for this.
Oh, well, that'd be okay, wouldn't it? We could, yeah, we may have two.
The caps are nice.
The caps will clean up just nicely. The pop bumper caps.
And because it's got the like the chrome post, we've got to buff all them.
Yep.
Which actually they take a long time to buff, but you've got to do it.
It's worth it. Yeah. It's worth it. Okay. All right. So we'll have a look under the machine and see what's going on. So here's underneath the playfield, and we've got a really badly worn flipper linkage. Which one is it, Graham?
I think they're both not Rob. I think this one's the worst.
Oh, look at that.
And the other one's not much better.
Well, that's moving, what, about a quarter inch?
Oh, it's totally done.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised it was nearly coming out the other side there.
Just about, yeah.
And this one's not much better.
Not quite as bad. Yeah. So a new flipper kit for that.
And it's got a metal sleeve in it.
Oh, right, okay. We'll change that over. I think the customer mentioned there's a broken switch on one of the pop bumpers.
Yeah.
I don't think...
I had a quick look.
I don't think we've looked yet, have we? It might be an end of stroke switch.
It
perhaps.
Is, yeah.
Broken end of stroke switch?
And actually, they're both missing. Usually it's just the long blade, but the short blade's missing as well.
Oh dear. Okay, we'll have to fix that up. So we need to do that. It looks like there's not much to do up on the ball trough up there. We'll just check the switches. He's got taking the balls out now.
Yeah.
So we have the motorboard itself. What have we got down there?
Oh, the switch is wrong. That's been bent out.
Right. Okay. So as always, we just have a pre-cursory glance, as I mentioned, over the game before we get started. Now, right up the back there, you can see there's a step-down transformer fitted to the game. Oh, there's Skanky.
Yeah, she loves playing in the dirt.
Ah, right. Gee, we don't see her very often.
It's a bit of different contrast to the back box.
Yeah, it's a bit dirtier and grottier.
And the back box is beautiful.
Now, this has a coin mech in. It takes two Australian $2 coins. I'm not sure how they've done that, but
I think they've converted a 5 center or a 10 center. I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, the other thing we did notice is that this trip bank here, don't know I can get a good perspective on it. Just, it's bent. It's actually bent inwards.
It's leaning backwards.
Yeah. So we're going to straighten that up, and as a result, that plunger's just sticking in and jamming.
It's not
so I think someone's sort of accidentally maybe done that.
Yeah, they've dropped something on them or something like that. Or
The ball elevator looks okay. Let's get around there. Here it is, the ball elevator. What's the rubber like, Graham? Now I want to point something out to you people.
The rubber looks good.
There's a rubber that sits here, right there. There it is. Is it cracked or?
I think it's okay.
Anyhow, people, that rubber, I don't think you can buy that, but our good friend Pat Gallagher from Butler in Pennsylvania has suggested that you can use fuel line from a fuel injection. It equates to about 8 millimetres in metric. I think it was 5/16 imperial and 8 millimetres metric, and you just cut a bit off and that goes there. If that's broken, what will happen? You'll lift two balls at a time. It sits too low, so that falls back, and you can get two balls on the ramp and plays up a bit. That came up in our Facebook group and or on the EM Pinball Facebook group just fairly recently. So just be aware of that. And we put a picture of that ball elevator mech on it, one out of our lightning ball. So they've also added another meter here, and this meter is hooked up to the knocker, so it's a replay meter. We'll leave that on there. There's the total play meter down there.
Free game.
And what do you got there? That's someone set that straight up to the coin switch. Yeah.
So we're going to get rid of that. The motor is very sluggish. Needs a good oiling and cleaning.
Okay. And people, this is one of those games where you've got this sprung-loaded playfield latch. They're quite strong. Yeah. I could barely move that with my left hand because I'm right-handed. So always remember, if you can't lift a playfield up on an early 60s game, that latch is the problem. You have to move it out because the little arms at the end of it hook into the playfield.
Up here.
Easier to see this one, I think, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there we go. Point to that latch again.
Yeah. And what it was for is to stop people smashing the playfield glass and lifting the playfield up and knocking the money off. But it was detrimental because what happened, instead of people lifting the playfield up, they destroyed the playfield to get to the money box. And so after a few years they thought this is a bit of a dead thing because you think you'd rather have a couple of dollars missing and then someone's ruined the playfield. So a lot of people have actually got rid of them off the machines that we've seen over the years.
Right. There's the other thing that we're going to need to do. The flipper arms have that insulation on them. That one's got a bit of tape on it. The other one's got nothing on it. We'll put a bit of heat shrink on both those.
Yeah.
That goes part of it. These get a bit sticky, but this one not too bad. Both of them pretty good.
These are maybe put new switches on here as well.
Oh, okay. Those double switches popped out. What we're talking about there, people, is the flipper switches themselves.
Well, Well, this one's only on half the pad. I think they've changed this one, King. You can see it's only getting half a pad on that.
Oh, okay.
So that's not going to be real good.
That's them there.
And that one's the same, so we've got them in stock.
Okay, we'll fix that up.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're going to do, first thing, we're going to start pulling those mechs apart that we showed you in the insert of the back box. We're going to fix that match unit, which has got the 3 broken parts that we know of, and there could be other things wrong with it. And don't be surprised for one of those bushings. We did a video on that little white bushing that the drive arm pivots on. Could be worn. You just, that's why you've got to pull these all apart. And
one job we've got to do is we've got to buff those balls in the back glass as well.
Oh yeah, okay, so we'll show you those just a moment. Now we've actually done a video on this before, I believe, when we did MIBs, but these are your animation balls. Now here they are here, and you can see how grotty they are. These yellow ones, we're not even sure if they were supposed to be white. We're not 100% sure. Anyone that might have ever unpacked one of these could let us know.
I think if you keep buffing, you'll get them down to white.
You'll put them on the soft buff, and they'll come up really nice.
You'll be surprised at how different they are.
Yeah, and the customer bought a new a PBR rubber kit for this, which is great. We'll put that in. Where is that? Here it is here. For Bowling Queen, the pinball resource. So that's where we buy most of our parts from. There it is there in Poughkeepsie in New York. And we'll be up there in early October visiting Steve to say g'day, and going to catch up with our friend Dave Matrando over in Highland across the Hudson River there. He works at PBR a couple of days a week now. The other thing I forgot to mention is this is one of those games with a dirty big trip bank on the, you probably noticed that earlier on, but that trip bank there, we'll have to check all that out thoroughly and make sure that's all working.
It looks pretty clean actually, Ken.
It does look reasonably clean, doesn't it? So all in all, there's a bit of work to go on this. So what we'll do, once we've done it all, we'll do a video on any troubleshooting and things like that we can find, and let you know any problems that you need to look out for. And that's just one other thing I noticed too, and kind of forgot about this. Someone's put a new flipper coil in that flipper. Did anyone notice that before when we were showing you the linkage? And that flipper coil is out of a Williams game, FL21375. Now, we'll change that to an A5141, which is the correct Gottlieb coil. I don't like having the wrong coils in games. We've got some of those and we'll do that because it could be incorrect. Ohms and, you know, power issues could be wrong. Maybe getting the incorrect current. Well, probably is.
Yeah.
So we'll change that as well. So that's the other thing we meant to mention. And I'm sure there'll be other things we'll find as we go around the game, without doubt.
Oh, sure.
Like we said, the customer noticed that he didn't know what it was, but it's the end of strokes which is broken on the pop bumpers. So this has got 4 pop bumpers. Were they the same colour bumpers, Graham, or different?
No, they would have been working 2 on 2.
Yeah. So there's 4 pop bumpers, but there's only 2 pop bumper relays. That's what we're alluding to.
Yeah, so if you miss one in a stroke, it's not that important, but we will replace it.
Yep.
But the game will still function.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And we don't know what surprises we're going to get when we pull these bumpers apart. So
yeah, we'll possibly put bumper kits in. You get these yokes. You've got the Bakelite yoke and the metal yoke. The metal yokes even break.
Yeah, they break often on these old 60s games.
And if you are going to do a game and you're going to keep it yourself, it's a really good idea to replace those. It
does make the game better.
Yeah, the pop bumpers have got to come out anyway when we pull the playfield down to clean it and wax it and everything. And when we re-rubber it, what we'll obviously do is, before we put all the pop bumpers in, we will have checked all that. Look, with a pop bumper kit, you get a new plunger, you get a new spring for the plunger, you get 2 yokes, you get the fibre yoke and you get the metal yoke, and you get new coil stops and screws. You don't get, people say, oh, why don't you get a coil? You don't get a coil because you don't need to replace the coil more often than not. changing coils is only necessary when they fail. We often see people putting new flipper coils in machines expecting it's going to make a world of difference. So they put a new flipper coil in and they forget to change the end of stroke switch, or they forget to change the cabinet switch. Because the flippers are the interface between the player and the game, obviously it's important that when you do a rebuild on flippers you deal with everything that's necessary. Just having a look up toward the back there, and we've got the bells. You've got two bells, one here and one behind, so they're both there, which is great. And that's the wires on the knocker I was referring to. They've got that other meter hooked up to.
Basically just to show you how many credits you've had.
So that's been put on by the operator, no doubt, at some point in time.
I think it's probably there to make the game harder, because it's on coin. If they're winning too many games, you're not going to get as much money, I suppose.
Oh, well, they'd probably check that out.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, well, that's it. We thought we'd just give you a little look at Gottliebs Bowling Queen. We hope you like our video. Give us the big thumbs up. And please consider subscribing to our channel. We're monetised now, so we make a little bit of money. We've mentioned this before. We do these videos. They're free to you. And even if you care to give us a super thanks, which you can do, that would be great. So thanks so much for watching. It's much appreciated. And this has been another Goat Shed presentation.